Unit 1, Day 2 notes today. So as you guys can see, the beginning part is the warm-up. So we are going to do it in class, so you don't need to do this. So just skip through the first two questions. And we're going to do where it says learning target 3. And what we're trying to learn in this section would be you can find the length of a segment using the number line or uh, algebra or algebraically, All right, so the first one is called the ruler postulate. It's kind of easy, common sense. It's asking you what is AB. AB equals to something. So when you don't have anything on top, it just says the distance between A and B written as AB, and there's no symbols on top, and also called the length of AB is what is the distance, okay? What is between A, B. Okay, so since it's a number line and this is given to be 3, this is given to be 7, you can easily say, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the distance between the two is going to be 4. But if I wanted to actually write the equation, like what if I can't count because it's like, let's say this is 300 something and this are 1,700. So it's kind of hard to count. So we use the absolute value of A minus B. Whatever A is minus B or B minus A doesn't matter. So if A is represented by 3 minus 7, absolute value because distance is always going to be positive. So this would give you positive 4. So either ways you'll be able to find it. So this part, it says find the length of the four-length segment. So I'll do a couple of the problems, like let's say DE and FE and FG, and I want you guys to try this side of the problem, okay? So DE, so D is here, E is here. Some of you don't really physically need to, don't need to count, but to make it easier for me to explain, 1, 2, 3. When you count, you don't count 1 here. You count the steps you took. 1, 2, and 3. So from -1 to positive, the distance or the length is going to be positive 3. From E to F, E is at 2, F is at 6. You know the difference between 6 and 2 is just going to be 4. And F to G, 6 to 9, you can count, or you can just say, oh, F is 6, G is 9. So you can say, oh, 6 minus 9, absolute value will give you -3, the absolute value, which is positive 3. So it's kind of easy. So go ahead and do this side, and when we go through in class, you guys will tell me. The other definition we need to know is two segments that have equal length are given to be congruent. In algebra, everything is equal, 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 right? X equals to this, Y equals to this, or this equation. In geometry, when we're comparing like segments, when we're comparing planes, when we're comparing any polygon, we use the word congruent. Okay, and the symbol is it's just equal sign and then this wiggly line on top of it. Okay, so that is the definition of congruent means. Right, now this is the next one is what about segment addition postulate? So when you see this like this, it gets easier when, like, if you look at example 2 where they gave you variables, that's when it gets a little bit complicated. And then of course when they start putting a word problem without giving you the actual picture, that's when it gets a little bit difficult. So always in geometry, the beginning part is always easy, but as you go through the problems, it might get a little bit harder. So in this case, it says if B is between A and C, they draw it for you here, so it's not difficult. If B is between A and C, then we can actually say, okay, if B is between A and C, I can say AB plus BC is going to equal to AC. This is called segment addition. So in this case, AB is given to be 2, BC is given to be 10, so 2 plus 10 would be 12, right? Easy. All right, so now what if it's a variable? It's the same concept, but in this case, they gave you AC to be 96. So I can use the same angle segment postulate, which is AB plus BC equals to AC, right? AB is given to be the distance from here to here, which is 2x, plus BC is given to be 10x, and the whole thing here, AC from A to C, is given to be 96. 96. Okay, so that's what you get as an answer, right? 96. This is what you guys are learning in geometry. Remember I told you in algebra the equation is given, you have to solve it. In geometry, the problem is given, you set the equation up, and then you have to solve it. That's why it's important that you know what how to solve an equation. That's why the first 2 days we spend our time reviewing for algebra, because if you don't know algebra, how to solve it, then everything is going to be complicated. So I need you guys to solve this, and you're going to tell me what x is. Okay, so just go ahead and solve it out. All right, example 3, and it's kind of give you a detailed some. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it. I'll have you work it out. But it says given M is between and collinear with L and N, because sometimes if it says in between, if it's not mentioned as collinear, it might look a different picture. But in this case, I know it's collinear, so L and N is here, and I don't know where M is, but I know it's in between, right? It doesn't matter if the drawing is not drawn to scale. So I just draw the line, draw a diagram to a given statement. So M is between L and N, and they're collinear. Collinear means points on the same line. So now I have here LM from here to here is given to be 7y plus 9, right? And then let's use blue. M to N is given to be 3y plus 4. And then let's use green. All right, this is giving me a hard time. The green one is LN, which is 143. Okay, so that's based on the drawing, based on this diagram. That's what I did. So now the question is find LM and MN. For me to find those measurements, I need to solve for y first, right? So remember, I'm going to give you a hint. I want you guys to try it. In segment addition, we said LM plus MN is going to equal to LN, the whole thing. So what is LM? See, LM is given to be what? It's right here. 7y plus 9, right? So write this down here. 7y plus 9 plus, what is MN? MN is this part, right? 3y plus 4. What is the whole thing? 143. See, this is why we did algebra review, because if you can't do this kind of problem, you are going to struggle in geometry. So I need you guys to solve it and tell us what y is. So write it down. So I gave you 2 problems you need to solve. So in this case, this one might be a little bit complicated. Try it out, but if not, we'll do it in class, next class period. Okay. So one thing I can recommend that you do when you see problem like this is label it PT. And in geometry, that's why I have color paper. I don't know, color pencils. in class. I don't know if you guys paid attention to it, so that it kind of helps me to identify what they're talking about. So PT is the whole thing. So I know from here to here, the whole thing is 30 units, right? All right, QS. So if I have Q to S, this part is 6. And then it tells you here, this is the key part, PQ, all this is equal, right? So PQ, this is equal. So the question, then you have to kind of try to answer this question. So try it out, and then come to class, and then we will solve it together. Okay. So this is a short video. It's only 10 minutes. So I hope you guys would enjoy quickly going through it and come prepared next class. Okay.